Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age of Empires 4-3 replay. Spawn on the south side as the red French, we have Mr. K. Spawn on the north side as the blue Murica, we have KindaCat. Oh, let's take a look, see what natives on the map. We do of course have the House of Yagalon. It does grant some access to the Lefka Tartars and the Shock Riders. And of course we do also have the House of Vaza, which does give you access to the Royal Arquebus and the Winged Hussar. I'm going to sneeze, it feels like. Oh, looks like both players can get some Torpor wagons if they get themselves a ally. And now let's take a look at each player's decks. US player, you're immediately going with some Irish immigrants. Irish immigrants deliver 2 settlers, an additional 2 settlers for every 5 minutes that pass. So at this point in time, just gives them 2 villagers. Pretty basic. Spanish immigrants ships 1 outpost wagon. Spanish immigration boosts EXP income, allowing to earn shipments considerably faster upon reaching the e-commerce age. The lever ability can also be used to call in groups of powerful pikemen. Pikemen do not lose health. This card may be sent more than once. Since 1 outpost wagon gets a nice trickle of EXP. We got gold regulars, state militia, long rifles, infinite outpost wagons, and within economics, market technology is free, refunds the cost of artery research ones, improves market buy rates. And Virginia General Assembly ships 1 capital state capital wagon, makes the next upgrade research at the state capital wagon free, excluding spies and blockades. Russian American Company supplies 2 blockhouse wagons, enabling villagers to gather food from huntables faster. State militia skirmishers with low health. 54th Massachusetts Volunteers gets 5 state militia for 4 regulars and research their veteran research. On Continental Rangers, increase the attack and hit points in range of infantry armed with rifles. State militia sharpshooters, owl hoots, for example. Carbine Cavalry, Buffalo Soldiers, which does Carbine Cavalry gets increased attack and armor. Rolling Artillery ships fewer Gatling guns after each use, but resets after 3rd use, so it's got 3, 2, 1. Probably does that infinitely as well. Advanced Frontier Defenses. Think of the follow: Peachy Glimmer 011. Upgrades outposts and blockhouses to frontier status. Ships 3 outpost wagons that can transform into outposts and blockhouses. Armand's legions ship a number of powerful dragoons, enable them to be trained at forts. Polski's legions ship a number of powerful Uhlans, enable them to be trained at forts. The coffee mill guns. Gatling guns no longer need to reload, so fire continuously. Gotta go full auto, which technically Gatling guns, by legal definition in the United States, are not classified as automatics, since when you rotate the trigger, it counts as a separate individual pull of the trigger, technically. So it's easier to get yourself a Gatling gun than it is to get an automatic. In fact, Calico, same people make those unique helical magazine guns. You can also buy like a 22 caliber Gatling gun if I remember correctly. And heavy fortifications, improvement that increases the combat ability of walls, outposts, blockhouse forts, war huts, and noble huts. Just activate certain upgrades, which sounds like also overlaps with one of these. Wasn't it? Didn't we read one that provides some upgrades? It was Russian American Company, no? Oh yeah, Frontier Defense. Sense of Frontier status. So we got a little bit of overlap there. And it does go for Delaware. Ships additional regulars for each shipment you already have sent so far. And Fertile Lowlands. 6 semi-fenton cats, 2 homestead wagons. And okay, they carry additional 150 food, those cows. So they started like 200, I think. The French. Going for some crossbows. Let's see what cards they're going for. US and Mexico has some really unique cards I have to go through a little bit closer. Couriers, villager pioneers, increase villager hit points. Nasty combination, honestly. More couriers, wood, gold. Crossbows, hussars, Which he has already got both of those in, so may see a bit of harassment somewhere. I'm not sure where they may be at the moment. That's just a native scout. Oh, he doesn't get hussars, he's at the crossbows. And a team hand cavalry attack, infinite outpost, Irish Grenadiers, which is our unique musketeer, cords of wood, cords of gold, ranged infantry attack, skirmishers, cavalry combat, dragoons, falconets, fort, hired Hessian mercenaries, and couriers, factory, and another factory. Nothing too crazy, honestly, there for the French deck. Looks like the French aren't being defensive, just got the crossbows in for a bit of a militia, going for some musketeers of his own. And it looks like the French scout is just moving around, scouting, and doing his job. Another shipment can be brought on in. He's eyeing for the couriers.
Oui.
Inspiring flag has been utilized.
Votre ordre?
There's the aspiring flag right there, right next to the outpost, which has another inspiring flag on top. Outpost taking a bit of damage there. Of course, crossbows siege damage is pathetically bad. Musketeers have a decent 20, as opposed to crossbows 8. So the US outpost will go down. I'm not sure why using inspiring flag right there. It's a little bit too far forward. Native scout is punching some villagers. He really does not like that lady. Outpost does go down there. US player, he's eyeing for Wataka's Association. He does get the next age, which is another one. Mounted settlers. I'm not sure which state he's gone for. Ships 2 outpost wagons, all existing and newly constructed outposts will still on 2 state militia for free and support 10 population. That's not bad. And yep, apparently it also does affect blockhouses as well. And over mountain settlers, ship 4 settlers greatly improve settlers in range combat and make natural resources last longer. That's probably the benefit of that one there. But adds plus 12 with damage to range attack. That's not bad. Not as significantly large as, say, warrior culture for the natives. It does go up on the villagers there as well. But could make it so that they are all embrace the Second Amendment to give them 15 damage rather than just 3. And does take that outpost there as well. So right now the US player is losing a large amount of blockhouses there. Has not deployed on military whatsoever. I see no military structures. And these outpost wagons are of course the ones he's been using to improve his population space. And now he's going to quickly run them down. Yes. And this is his population housing. He does not have other population housing at the moment. Oh, he does now, somewhere. His outpost will go down. He does house a couple veteran sharpshooters here, which are a skirmisher variant with extra range. Same range as longbowmen. Couple of state militia now pulling the field. They're a skirmisher of higher health. Where's those outpost wagons going? We've got proxy outpost wagons apparently being pulled on the field. The French military started going down. The US player needs to eye for any sort of military production building. He does of course have those 2 blockhouse wagons that which should be able to allow him to deploy out to units.
Yes, hello.
And this will give him a lot of population space to work with. Each one of these can provide 10 population space. So now he's up to 60. And of course get some free state militia with it as well. So he's eyeing for aggressive defense? Proxying defense? Is that a term to use? Either way, he does have of course some frontier outposts as well, which does give him some extra damage. And more free simulation there, so the US player does spawn some more units now. Has some Spanish spearmen as well, the Tricos. Which is not related to the Pokemon.
Yes.
And of course, he does have this outpost here, and the red barracks could go down. These pikemen actually do have decent siege damage. 41 siege damage actually is quite significant. Brings in the Spanish spearmen as well as this, the, what is it, 54th? Yeah, 54th Massachusetts Volunteers. British squad is going to go down. The US player has a massive arm that came out of nowhere, basically. We do also have a handful of skirmishers, a pair of falconets on the build queue. It's good amount of resources at the moment. Doesn't he lost his barracks, so he can't build any more military units. He needs to get enough resources to get out of barracks and start deploying out light musketeers so he can good composition for his current resources. Though it will be hard to counter by the not really hard to counter by state militia. They're not exactly damage dealers. But there's a couple of sharpshooters in the mix there. Will do some good work. Now the US player is eyeing for rolling artillery, getting a set of 3 Gatling guns, which should be very good. The French player does have a handful of falconets here. They can get easily overran. French are eyeing, of course, does bring in the militia, does bring in some skirmish as well. Good damage there. Gatling guns are now firing. They got a good volley there onto the falconet. That falconet's about to go down. Does take out one of the Gatling guns before going down. One Gatling gun remains. Both falconets do go down. Skirmishers is getting annihilated. The Gatling gun should be very effective for them. Doesn't do any bonus damage, just get bonus negatives, but still has just good damage, rate of fire, and a good enough range. Not as very far as falconets, but just still good enough. The French villagers do not have increased health, so they can't really tango at the moment. And it looks like the French players are going to start losing some villagers now. So the US player does have a weird deck of deploying out defenses to get free units and to get population space. So it does a weird compounding effect, I guess. Interesting deck, to say the least. It was successful this time around, but his opponent didn't really got a secondary army deployed on the field, not realizing that he's going for the state militia for every single outpost, and that caught him off guard. This is Grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.